Thank you for tuning into our seller interview series. Up today, we've got an Amazon FBA business for sale in the occasions and gifts niche. Created in May of 2016, this business makes $6,361 per month in net profit, and the listing number for the business is 46347. We do these interviews to give potential buyers more information about both the seller and the businesses they're looking to purchase. We hope these insights are helpful for you in making a buying decision. We've got the seller with us today to go through the business and cover everything from niche selection to traffic and monetization. Joseph, thank you for coming on here today. How are you doing?
Pretty good.
Excellent. Well, I'm glad to hear that, and I'm glad to have you on here to discuss this Amazon FBA business with me. But before we dive into the questions that I have for you, I'd like to take a minute and run through a little quick summary of the business. Again, it was built in May of 2016, has a monthly revenue of $68,870, expenses of $62,509 to make for a net profit of $6,361, which is generated on a 12-month average. Included in the sale of this business are the Seller Central account with 16 SKUs, trademarks, and brand content. And please note that inventory is not normally included in the list price. Further details can be provided to active depositors. Joseph, can you tell us a little bit about your background in building and running online businesses?
Yeah, so before I started this particular business, I was doing RA on Amazon for about 3 additional years. So been on Amazon, I guess coming up on 6 years now. And RA was just kind of falling out and it's getting harder and harder to do. So I looked into the private label side of things and that's how I got started.
Yeah, and things have clearly been going pretty well for you with this business. I mean, you, outside of one dip that we'll talk about in a little bit, the business has, seemingly been doing pretty well. So why have you decided to sell it today?
So for at least about a year and a half, I haven't really looked into any new products, and it's not very exciting. And I'd like to hopefully take the money from the sale of this business and start something else that I can get a little bit more excited about when I wake up.
Yeah, that's fair. So when you look back, as I mentioned, at the numbers for the year, you notice that while it's a little up and down sometimes, in general, the numbers are all very good and generally consistent, but you had a dip here in January of 2019. Can you explain what happened then?
Yeah, so every retail business is going to have a sales dip, but that particular one isn't just a dip. It's basically the chart looks like essentially there's no profit at all. And that is due to Amazon assessing the holiday period inventory storage fees. So even though they were actually incurred in December and I believe November as well, since the January sales are low and those December fees roll over into January, it looks as though I haven't had any profit, where, in reality I actually have. It's just getting hit by about a $4,000 fee.
So you were still making money, and of course, when you look at the revenue, you notice that, you still had a good amount of revenue, and when you compare it to, the following month, February, I mean, it was virtually the same. So you had the same amount of money coming in, you just were hit with this one-time unexpected fee. Is that correct?
Yeah, well, now I've come to expect it, but yeah, Amazon really ramps up the inventory storage fees there, and that's, I believe, just in the last 2 years, a new policy where they charge about 4x on the November, December to make room for more, holiday goods that are going to be moving quickly. And even though the goods are moving quickly, I need to keep a lot of them in there in order to meet the demand because there is obviously a lot of demand towards the Christmas season.
But now you'll be able to plan accordingly should you keep the business, and anyone who takes it over has the knowledge and should be able to plan accordingly. Is that correct?
Well, I mean, the fee will be incurred to keep units in, and everybody has to deal with that who is selling larger items on Amazon. So, it's an expense to take into account, but, you're selling, six figures during those months. So the $4,000 fee is just kind of something that you have to ride with, unfortunately. And, it does vary.
Yeah. So given a typical month with this business, can you walk me through the work that you, the owner of this business, have to do in order to maintain it?
Sure. So I just essentially check inventory levels, about once a week and see where we're at. Plan ahead, call suppliers, and pretty much just see where they're at with production. Lead time is typically consistent, and just place orders, and I'll check the reports just to make sure it's going as planned. But I take vacations all the time where I don't even look at the business, for a week. It pretty much runs itself. Just answer customer emails, of course. Have to do that within 24 hours per Amazon policy. And other than that, just look at the PPC campaign, see if everything's going smoothly, which it almost always is. Look for different spikes and keywords, but just the usual. It's really, really low amount of hours per week.
Can you explain the brand registry situation with this business?
Yeah. So one of the products is registered with a trademark and in brand registry 2.0. It's all up to snuff. And the other product and child SKUs, I attempted to trademark a while ago, and the USPTO said that the name was too generic or something, and they didn't issue the trademark. And since I haven't had any problems with any hijackers or people selling fakes on the listing, I just went ahead and I didn't want to change the brand name, so I just went ahead and kept selling under this one. For a potential buyer, it would be pretty simple to just alter the packaging and have it say something slightly different and get a trademark on that. And, you'd still keep all the reviews and the product detail page and everything the same. It'd just be a question of registering that new name.
So, if you were to keep this business and try to grow it yourself, what are the major opportunities that you would focus on?
So I've already started within the last 6 months, I believe. I've added a couple new child variations on the current products, and those have been very successful. So just continue branching out on the existing products that I have, and definitely look into adding some other products in the same niche because I have good relationships with these suppliers and they always finish on time. So I'd like to continue working with them and maybe develop some other products.
Do you feel like there are any potential risks associated with this business that a new owner should be aware of?
Yeah, of course. Any business on Amazon carries risk. Everybody knows that simply because you're at the mercy of Amazon. It's 100% revenue generated from FBA. Don't do any website sales, no social. The only way I'm promoting it is strictly through FBA and Amazon PPC. So just the typical risks associated with Amazon, I would say.
But there's no niche specific risks or anything like that.
Oh, no, well, that's what's good about the niche that it's in is that, there's no gating issues. It's all our own brand. And, as we already covered, one of them is trademark protected, and then you could trademark protect the other brand, as I said, by altering the name slightly, and then you get brand registry 2.0. We currently only have 1.0, and then, you're pretty much protected from everything as long as you carry out the good business practices that I've been doing and keep your metrics up and basically just don't get in trouble with Amazon. It's pretty much that simple.
Would you commit to a non-compete?
Oh, yeah.
And how much support are you willing to offer a new owner during the transition period?
So this is my only source of income. Other than that, I'm a stay-at-home dad, so I'm pretty flexible. And, any help that somebody would need, I'm available most times, unless I'm, busy dealing with my son. So I could do pretty much as much help as they need, to get things rolling, any questions. And then if they need me to consult after that, I could, but I don't see that as being necessary as long as they have basic Amazon skills.
Are you open to negotiating on something like an earnout where perhaps percentage of the capital from the sale would be paid out in the coming months rather than all of it up at front?
Yeah, that's something that could be discussed for sure.
Joseph, thank you very much for taking the time with me today. I really appreciate it. Before I let you go here, I have one final question. If you were looking at this business from the perspective of a potential buyer, why would you feel like this is an asset worth buying?
Well, I would say, especially for somebody who has experience with Amazon and maybe already owns another Amazon business, this one really doesn't take very much work. So if it's something that you're looking at strictly as just an investment to keep it going as it is and not really do any work adding more, then you're looking at, if you want of just a few hours a week, that's really as much as you need to put into it just to maintain it. So from that perspective, it's just pretty much money coming in with very little effort. So I guess that I'd say would be the most appealing thing.
Yeah, I'd say you're exactly right. It seems like an easy business to run that has money coming in. So, Joseph, thank you very much for taking the time with me today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
If you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe to our channel. If you want more information, the link will be below the video that will take you to this marketplace listing. If you're watching us on the listing page and want more information, become a depositor today. When you make the deposit, one of our business advisors will be in contact with you. You'll be given everything you need to review this business. Have a great day.